A panorama of David Hockney's 70-year career, a tribute to the artistic, archaeological and cultural heritage of Gaza, and a spin through a century of Disney's movie magic. Well, that's all coming up in today's show. First, American pop singer Katy Perry has now brought her star power to a new arena as she blasted off on the first all-female flight to space. The trip was organised by Blue Origin, the company owned by billionaire Jeff Bezos. Perry was joined by Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, CBS host Gayle King, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, civil rights activist Amanda Wynn, and film producer Kerry-Anne Flynn. Jennifer Ben-Brahim tells us more.
Got it?
An out-of-this-world experience for one of the biggest pop stars on planet Earth. Katy Perry blasted off with 5 other women, making it the first all-female space flight in more than 60 years.
5, 4, command engine start, 2, 1,
The Blue Origin rocket took off from West Texas on what was an 11-minute journey, bringing them beyond the Kármán line, the internationally recognized boundary of space.
It's not about me. It's not about singing my songs. It's about a collective energy in there. It's about us. It's about making space for future women and taking up space and belonging.
The fireworks singer did manage to belt out a few notes before arriving back on terra firma, according to her crewmate, the TV presenter Gayle King.
When we got back in our seats after 0 G's, Katy sang "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
Isn't that nice?
Come on.
She sang "What a Wonderful World." I see dreams. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
It's about the view that we get to see, that we're humbled by, and how wonderful our world is. And so I just thought that was very apropos.
A life-changing moment for the star, who exited the rocket whilst brandishing a daisy, the name of her 4-year-old daughter, and kissed the ground. This latest step for space tourism has added more rocket fuel to the fire. Critics have called out the environmentally damaging aspects of such flights, as well as questioning if the all-female trip is a moment of feminist progress or rather a PR stunt. While in outer space, Katy Perry gave a sneak peek of her set list for the Lifetime's tour, kicking off later this month.
Next to a great loss for Latin American literature as Peru mourns author Mario Vargas Llosa, who died at 89 years old. A fierce defender of personal and economic liberties, he once ran for the Peruvian presidency. He also wrote more than 50 novels and published essays in journalism throughout his career. A Nobel Prize winner, Vargas Llosa was also elected to the Académie Française in 2021. To a new exhibition here in Paris now, showcasing archaeological artefacts from the Gaza Strip. Saved Treasures of Gaza takes in 5,000 years of history in the Palestinian coastal region. And while the show presents Gaza as a cultural melting pot, it also highlights the destruction caused by the current war with Israel, with organisers saying the show hopes to send a message of solidarity to people there. Charlie James has this report.
A 6th century mosaic, 4,000-year-old ceramics, a statue of Aphrodite, all priceless treasures rescued from Gaza. Today, a land under siege. A new exhibit at the Arab World Institute in Paris showcases artifacts from Gaza, and curators hope to paint a more complete picture of the region's history as a commercial crossroads between Asia and Africa.
Gaza is really a culmination of major caravan routes. This meeting of sand and sea that made Gaza's location strategic means that today in the new town, if we were to dig, we would find more than 8 successive layers of civilization.
The exhibit focuses on the past, but its origins are tied to today's conflicts. The Arab World Institute was finalizing a different exhibit on the ancient city of Byblos in Lebanon when Israeli bombs began to fall on Beirut. Transporting these artifacts suddenly became impossible. Empty-handed, the Institute turned its attention to artifacts held in Geneva, owned by the Palestinian Authority. 130 masterpieces were chosen for display in Paris.
This exhibit is unique and unprecedented. It's the first time that relics or pieces that tell the story of this history have been presented in this form. But it also has an ethical and political meaning. We want to say to the people of Gaza, stand firm. And in our own way, we're standing by you. It's a response not through violence, but through culture, through science, through knowledge, through art.
Visitors also feel this link between the past and present.
I found it to be a very moving exhibition, obviously because it resonates with what's happening there today. And also, it's very important to show that Gaza is not only violence, war and destruction. History exists, beauty exists. And one day, all of it will come back to life, that's for sure.
Palestinian historical sites and artifacts remain at great risk. According to UNESCO, 69 cultural sites in Gaza have been damaged since the war with Israel began in October 2023. And as Gaza faces a new round of attacks, UNESCO is calling for increased protection of Palestinian cultural heritage.
The largest exhibition of work by British artist David Hockney ever to be assembled has just opened in Paris. It's the first time the Louis Vuitton Foundation has dedicated its entire museum space to a living artist. Well, the retrospective includes rare pieces and paintings that have never been seen before. Karis Garland takes a look.
A journey through vivid landscapes with touches of trademark humour and plays on perspective. A retrospective featuring more than 400 works from David Hockney has opened at the Fondation Louis Vuitton in Paris, and curators promise it will not disappoint.
I've learned to compare David Hockney with Picasso, not because he's the same, but the scale of his work and the imagination of his work, and the total achievement is not dissimilar.
The exhibit is mostly focused on the last quarter century of Hockney's life, with several unseen creations from the last 2 years, including a striking meditation on the afterlife inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. Visitors can also admire works the British artist produced on his iPad while living in Normandy during the pandemic.
Other artists use iPads and the like, but he was among the first. He created, even commissioned a new software, and he uses it all with remarkable skill.
Fans of Hockney's classics from his time in California won't be disappointed, with some pieces on loan from private collections, notably Portrait of an Artist, which depicts Hockney's former lover staring into a pool. It sold for more than $90 million at auction in 2018. The 87-year-old artist, who still paints every day, says he didn't think he would live to see a show of this scale. He promised anyone with just a little visual sensibility would really enjoy it.
Now to a show that should appeal to a wide age range, since there are a few of us who haven't been charmed by the cinema of Walt Disney. The Disney 100 exhibition here in Paris includes hundreds of objects and artworks that showcase a century of animated and live-action family movies. From the classics like the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Star Wars, Pixar and Marvel characters, Jennifer Ben-Brahim takes us on a tour.
It's a fairy tale that has lasted for more than a century. The story of Disney starts with a certain Walt and a sketch of a mouse who would become a global icon. A chance to delve into the Disney archives.
For a Disney fan like me, seeing these little relics from the past is truly exceptional.
On display, a few treasures, like 2 original books that appear in some of the fairy tales, such as Sleeping Beauty.
She's the Disney princess. She's so pretty, she has a beautiful voice. She's the last princess Walt created.
The glass slipper of another princess, Cinderella. A wooden horse from the merry-go-round in Mary Poppins. And the faded costume of Pinocchio, which gives a glimpse into the making of this Disney classic.
Often in Disney films, they use dancers or actors to perform the roles so the animators can use them as inspiration. And when they made Pinocchio, there was a little boy, 4 years old at the time, named Dickie Jones, who served as the model. He wore the original costume for the Pinocchio character.
from fairy tales to action adventures, with cult heroes like Indiana Jones, or the iconic costumes from Pirates of the Caribbean.
My favorite character is Jack Sparrow. He's a pirate.
A blend of innovation and creativity that shows how Walt's spirit is ever present in Disney films.
What was most important to him was that there was always hope. There was always something to aspire to. There was something to feel good about.
6 months for Parisians to enjoy the Disney magic before it heads out on a world tour.
Finally, another meeting of iconic imagery and masterful storytelling as The Little Prince makes his debut at the Atelier des Lumières in Paris. This time, the immersive art venue has taken the few dozen drawings and watercolors from the original book and transformed them into more contemporary creations. It's an innovative approach to a well-loved character from children's literature, and we'll leave you with a glimpse of that show. Otherwise, do check in with us next time here on Arts 24 for more arts and culture, and on our social media too.